Well, obviously, Anthony Richardson is making a lot of list around this time of year, and initially they were just first round projections, and then as we got closer and closer, they started becoming top 10 projections. And now that the NFL Combine has happened, Nick, man, I think Anthony Richardson might have had a shot of vitamin energy before he went out there and ran that 40-yard dash.
Focus.
Because, man, his focus that he showed up there in Indy with, that performance that he put on, a record-setting showing by the Florida quarterback, and now they're talking top 5. I even saw Bleacher Report mocked him as the number 1 pick for the 2023 draft, projecting Indianapolis to trade up for him. So we knew it. We said on this show weeks ago, 440. And if you were really listening closely, you listeners out there, if you were really paying attention, you heard me say 45 vert. You heard it first on this show that man was going to go out there and jump a 45. And he did it. And, it was interesting, too. I heard some people try to not necessarily discredit, but try not to make too much of the performance or, because that's not everything that's going to go into playing the position. And while that's true, like that is literally the best combine performance a quarterback has ever put on. And it is worth making a big deal about because that's how much of a physical specimen is. And the reason why he's got a chance to go top 5, top 10, despite only being a starter for 1 year in an inconsistent season.
Yeah, he would be, I forget his name. The guy from North Carolina that went to Chicago, Trubisky, would have the fewest starts of a number 1 overall pick if he does go number 1 overall since Mitch Trubisky. Hopefully, he would be better than that. But it'll be interesting because Anthony's ceiling potential is so crazy. Like he's faster than Cam, probably a more accurate passer than Cam was at the time. I know fans probably don't want to hear that or will try to disagree with that, but I think that's true. And I think what happened was you weren't surprised. I wasn't surprised. Nobody around Anthony was surprised, but it's different. Like none of the numbers were unexpected. So really what it was is now you have 32 NFL teams who are seeing it in person. Okay, that matches the film. That 80-yard touchdown run against Utah. Yep, I saw that. And what your broad jump and your vert jump is just shows your explosion. So they do that before the 40. And once you ran 45 or once you jumped 45, I was like, yeah, 4.4 is coming. Like that just shows your explosion and the power that you have. I literally texted him Saturday night a video of it was like a head-on version, and he gets out the gates and immediately goes right and then veers all the way left. I was like, bro, you would have ran a 4.2 if you were just run straight.
I know.
And he hit me back. He goes, if my eyes were open, I might have run straight. Yeah, he's just running, squinting. But he's actually been back. Zach, we ran into him on the last practice. He's back in town, hanging with Vernell, watching the Gators. And obviously, I don't know what he'll do for his pro day.
He's not going to run. He's already said he's not running.
Don't need to improve on much and shoot. I mean, maybe you bench press. You're going to throw passes, but I don't know that you're going to. Hey, I'm going to sit on that 45-inch vert. I'm good. Chilling on that.
I mean, as he said, I think I heard him on the Rich Eisen show. He's literally run the last 40-yard dash of his life. That's it.
It's got to be a good feeling. Never going to be asked to do it again.
And officially a 4.43, fourth fastest 40-yard dash ever by a quarterback. Only Michael Vick, Reggie McNeil, and Robert Griffin III ran faster 40 times. However,
none of them were the size of a semi-truck.
Richardson weighs 34, 46, and 21 pounds more, respectively, than those three individuals. But if really the what really showed you how ridiculous, and I didn't even know that this was a thing, the RAS, the relative athletic score that they do from the combine.
Perfect 10.
Perfect 10. And I mean, he's the only prospect in the history of the combine that has scored a perfect 10. The only guy that had even gotten close to that was Cam Newton at the quarterback position, 9.99 in 2011. So Richardson, the only quarterback to get a perfect 10. And I even I saw another graphic that was made based off this RAS score that just him in general as an athlete was like, I think was top 10 in terms of the measurables and like where he would have ranked relative to all the other guys at other positions. It's just incredible. I mean, for as long as I can remember, especially being in Gainesville, covering him in high school, and then certainly Nick, our time here, chronicling his career at UF, we've always known that he was a freak. We've seen it, we've heard it, but to actually see it measured and to have a number on some of those things, it was just cool to see.
It's in black and white now. Yeah. It's not Zach's opinion or Nick's opinion, and Nick just likes Anthony and he wrote a nice story and he needs him to be good so that the story isn't wrong. It's like, no, man, it's he put it out there for you. The numbers are in black and white. And I hadn't even thought about it that way. Him telling Anthony or Rich Eisen, never run the 40 again. Done.
Never.
Never being judged on that again. 4.43. We'll stand on that.
Like, I don't need a second attempt. I'm good. But like you said, to your point, Nick, like dude probably would have went out there and could have done a 4.3 on a straight line. But obviously he's not the only Gator that went to Indy and put on a show. A lot of guys made the trip, worked out for NFL teams and scouts and coaches. And I think a lot of guys obviously coming out of this process are going to hear their names called in April. Obviously Richardson's going to be the first off the board, but Osiris Torrance has probably solidified himself as a first-round pick. You've got other guys that are going to hear their names called. It's unfortunate that Ventrell Miller didn't get to work out, but he was still in Indy, going through interviews and stuff. Richard Garage actually was injured during the combine process, not during the workout, but like the physical, or I forget what
they called it a pain tolerance test and
test.
And then Ian Rappaport kind of backtracked on that. And I'll say this, Ian Rappaport works for NFL.com, which is the NFL. And I don't think the NFL liked the terminology pain tolerance test, because what's a pain tolerance test? Hey, Zach, give me your ankle. I'm just going to twist it, and you tell me when to stop. And judging on what angle I'm at, when you tell me to stop, we'll tell you how tough you are. What is a pain tolerance test?
I don't know, but obviously Richard got hurt.
Hey, he's tough. He's tough. So Rappaport kind of backtracked it and said that he came to the combine with an injury and part of the physical just aggravated it. That could have been something that happened, while playing and practicing in Mobile.
Or the Reese's Bowl or something like that.
For the Senior Bowl. So I don't think it's, that scenario that I just asked you where a medical professional is just twisting your ankle until you say uncle. I don't think that's what it was. But listen, Richard will have a chance to get fully healed before the end of the month and have a chance to do pro day and go through all of that.
Trading most best bench press by a defensive back. That was the positive. I think he and Torrance didn't really have great 40 times. So that's, that was.
I saw a tweet that if and it's mean, it's a mean tweet, but it was, if you add.
You sure you want to repeat it?
It's fun. It's not. It wasn't my tweet. I'm just repeating it here. If you add Torrance's and Dean's 40 times, it equals 9.25, which is what they'll be working if they run that slow.
Yeah, I mean, That's a mean tweet.
That's a mean tweet.
I would not have repeated that.
No, I think it's funny. But listen, Trey Dean tweeted out that he's had hip injuries. He's tweeted out that he is dealing with some hip injuries and that he'll have another opportunity. That's what's great about having a pro day is it gives you a soft cushion. It gives you if you're walking a tightrope over the Grand Canyon, your pro day is a nice net in case you fall. So Trey will have to run again. Rashad Torrance will have to run again.
Anthony Richardson will not.
No, Anthony Richardson will be wearing some Crocs, I bet.
I don't think Dexter will run at pro day.
Dexter sits on his. And the other thing, too, is that I think Rashad Torrance, and I thought he would be more of a workout warrior kind of guy, super physically impressive. I was surprised that he left, that he declared for the draft. And his combine did not help him at all. So now you have, even though the pro day is a safety net, well, not anymore. Now that safety net has turned into that tightrope without a net, because now you have so much riding on your pro day if you're Rashad Torrance. Because you're a late round pick right now. Like if you have a bad pro day, you probably should have just come back to school, because if you have the tape that you have, which is fine, it's okay. You led the team in tackles last year. But if you have another slow 40 and don't absolutely crush your pro day, you might have made a bad business decision.
Yeah, and another guy that will be counting on that pro day as well is Amari Burney. He did not get to work out in Indy. Justin Shorter did. So he's a guy that was there working out. Brenton Cox.
And I think showing up and being officially 6'5", and running that 4.5 range, I think that's really going to help Justin Shorter. Sure. Osiris Torrance, listen, nobody was expecting the combine to help him. What he did in Mobile and his 4 years of film is what makes him a first rounder. There's not a lot of offensive linemen that come out of the underwear Olympics in Indianapolis, and teams are like, you know what, really changed my mind. He ran that 5.5 40 and really changed my mind. So I think it's already kind of set and established where Osiris was, but these skill positions, you've got to have good combines and good pro days. So I think Justin Shorter will probably sit on his 40, but he'll probably be getting with Anthony Richardson, like, hey man, we need to figure out these routes, what's in the route tree for us, and I need to make sure I can show them that we're running crisp routes and that we're on time and that I'm catching passes.
Gut feeling, does Florida's pro day include Brenton Cox Jr.?
Yeah, I think it will. I think Florida did not include him in their graphic for the East-West Shrine game, and I thought, okay. It's not great. I think even if we're taking out that, I think Billy Napier is a good guy who wants to give people chances and gave Brenton a number of chances. I think even if you take that out and just look at it coldly, it's a bad PR move for Florida to not allow Brenton Cox to come back for pro day, because he's going to need to work out for teams at a pro day, and Kirby Smart certainly isn't inviting him back to Athens for their pro day. So I think it would be a PR nightmare for Florida not to invite him. But knowing, getting back into knowing everything I know, Florida will invite him. You're not going to, blackball Brenton Cox because you had to get him away from your football team.
And you needed to get him away in season. Season's over. He's going to show up for one day and he's gone.
Mm-hmm. And it's an opportunity where you would be denying him the chance to work out and denying him the chance to better his life in the future, which is what you were trying to do for him, even though he got in the way of himself, got in his own way, and there were consequences you had to put in place for the season. To deny him now the chance to better himself, I think would fly in the face of everything Billy Napier says that he stands for. And if they said, no, Brenton Cox, you can't come, I'd probably have to ask Billy, like, hey, do you mean the things that you say? Because we're buying them. We believe that you want to make these young men better people. And he failed in that aspect, but you're not giving him a chance to rectify that or a chance to continue on with that.